Okay, hello all. We're on a little bit early. We like to get on early and test, so we're 15 minutes early. So for those on already, we're just doing a quick test. Please start to fire away your questions so we can get those answered. Just waiting for Jimmy to attend as well. Hi, Jimmy.
Hey, Ash, how you doing?
Good, mate. That's good. It's all working well. We've got a few people on so far, so
Good.
we just do testing for 10 minutes.
No worries.
So in the meantime, let's chat about rent-to-rent and service accommodation. So you've had a good day out with Bayo?
Yeah, today I met Bayo the second time. He picked his keys up. We went to his first property today. And yeah, really nice property he's got. He's got, I think it was a 5-bed. It's a HMO. It's over 3 floors, so he's getting slung in at the deep end. And yeah, the property's really nice standard. There's not too much to do. He's just got to put a small little stud up between the kitchen and one of the reception rooms. He's got to change thumb turn locks. They're all fire doors on anyway, but it's just like thumb turns that needs to go on each door. Put the smoke alarms in as well, and he's pretty much set to go after that. It's a real, it needs a deep clean, you know, like the landlord is not really clean the property. So, you know, like the things around the shower, just bits that tenants can pick up on as soon as they go in.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's really good. He's, I've told him to change. It's like a landing strip. I think the guy who built the property really liked LED downlights. They're not LED. They're obviously, you know, we worked out in just the front room. I think it was like nearly 1,000 watts that it would be using if every one was lit. So
whoa,
yeah, it was stupid. And like the corridor, like I say, it was like a landing strip of airplanes. So so I said to him about getting, you know, replacing them with LEDs because it notes it straight away. If he's got it for 3 years, it'd be ideal, you know. So it'd save a few quid. Little tip as well on them. The best ones for them are home base at the moment. They're the cheapest ones.
Yeah.
And they give you a 25-year lifetime guarantee on them. So,
how much are they charging out home base then for LEDs?
I bought a box of 10 the other day. It cost me 15 quid.
That's bloody good because some stores are £3-4 each.
Yeah. That was the GU10s. You know the ones that you put in and turn.
Okay, good. Yeah, and yeah, when you stand under them, they don't burn your head like me.
No, that's it. Yeah, you can leave one and still touch them.
Yeah, good. Okay, so is that the one where he had part of the property or all of the property?
No, it's quite weird because what it is, it's like an Indian landlord that's bought I don't know if it was one plot, and he's built the big house, so it's a big semi-detached. Yeah. He's taken one half of it, so the landlord lives next door, so he's always got eye on the property. And then Bayo's taken the other side, but like I said, the property is just in such good condition. He's got off-street parking for a couple of cars.
It looks amazing.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. It's a real nice property. Really low maintenance back garden. It's all paved.
Yeah.
So that's good. And yeah, pretty cool for his first deal. So I think it's
so the
about £900 profit in it a month for him.
How much?
About 900.
Yeah, nice, good. Okay, that's good for Bayo. Now, did he JV with that, or did he get it through in the end on his own?
I'm not sure. Like the meeting I had last, I didn't ask him whether he JV'd. I think he might have, purely for the finance side of things.
I think it was more the guarantor.
Right. Okay. Oh yeah, because it's not really got a. It's not really got.
He sent me the deal, and I put a note on the group, and he's obviously found someone. So.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, good.
But yeah, he's a really nice guy, and so pleased. Like when I left today, you know, like he's got his first deal. It reminded me of me.
Mate, I tell you what, as you know, there's nothing like that feeling of your first deal.
No, that's good.
You get your second, you get your third, or you get your 10th, your 12th, like you have now. It's like it's just another deal. Whereas your first and maybe your second, it's like, wow.
Very memorable.
Absolutely, yeah. Because you know all the crap that you've been through to get there in the first place.
Yeah, that's it.
So it's, yeah. But I'll tell you what, you know, when I got the deal the other day with Anthony, and we just put the referencing through, it's all okay. And I had that feeling again, like, yeah, another deal. It's just that thrill of the kill, you know?
What was that, the service accommodation one?
Yeah, that's in that area. So that's going to average about £1,200 a month, and then I think best case scenario is about £3,700 a month.
Okay.
Yeah, so nice. Yeah, not as good as your hotel, but hey.
No, and I've been running 100% occupancy on that in a minute since launch.
So what is it? So it was 15 grand at 70%. What is it? 100%?
Yes, about 20k.
£20,000. So nice.
Yeah, so I've just still got to work out because I haven't got all the electric bills in as yet. I've changed everything to LED up there, so it's quite hard to say the exact amount. But yeah, we're there or thereabouts, you know.
Well, you'll know by the end of the month.
Yeah, definitely.
Good. Okay. Excellent, man. That's good.
Yeah,
that's more than your other 12 rent-to-rents.
Sure is.
In one deal. Now, I know that you were looking at another deal the other day. You went to view. How did that go?
Well, what one was that?
You went to look at another. Somebody gave you like a hotel deal or something like that.
Oh no, that's with Bayo. So Bayo's got a friend.
Oh.
And I think his friend actually owns the freehold. Now it's another pub. It's got a bar, stroke restaurant downstairs. The guy don't want to invest any money into it, but he just wants to lease it out. So we've got a meeting this Friday, funny enough, because the meeting that happened Tuesday, it didn't happen. So,
okay, so no problem. So Friday, it's going ahead. The meeting on Friday.
Going ahead. I'll see what sort of finance needs to be put in for it, and yeah, if the figures stack up, which like I said, it's right by a station as well, so it's it's pretty good.
Is that independent as well? It's not. Is it independent?
Yeah, independent. Yeah, so not in a brewery, which is even better.
Yeah, exactly. Good. Okay, so we're getting close to kicking off. For those on the call already, I guess me and Jimmy are just having a bit of a one-to-one, so you can listen in live. But we'll be starting at 7:30. So we always like to be ahead and catch up. So what else is going on, Jimmy? Did you end up speaking to Stacey?
Yeah, I spoke to Stacey today, but she rang me as I was out walking the dogs, and I was on the phone, and I looked round and I only had one dog, and I left with two. So I had to drop the call. I did bring her back, so I don't know if she's on tonight. I'll give her a call after this.
Oh, okay, cool, no worries.
I had a heart attack, you know, when you're chatting away. Bit of a nightmare. So
where's my dog?
Yeah, so yeah, but we found Albert, and I pulled her back.
Yeah, I think she's doing a lot more activity now, so that's good.
Good, yeah.
Activity counts, obviously.
Exactly. Yeah, she's from Surrey Keys way, she was saying, and yeah, looking to start up in Bromley area. So.
Yeah, that's where she lives out there. Yeah.
Right, cool.
Yeah, good. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like I said, I spoke to Anna today. I had a catch up with her. She's all good.
Good. Yeah, she just needs a bit more Goya.
Yeah, she's setting her comfort zone now. That's the place that comes. I need to get the whip out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I saw her on Friday at the mastermind group, but I didn't realise she had 10 deals. I thought she still had like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
So yeah,
she's done very well, and for not driving as well. Right, I don't personally. I couldn't do what I do without driving.
I'm the same. That's what you get used to, I guess.
Yeah, you know, I've just like, you know, I've got my van, and I'm always in my van.
Yeah, I mean, there's loads of people who are in the group who don't drive a car.
Well, hats off to them. Well,
yeah, I know. But then, you know, when I go to London with students, it's like it's always trains or buses or taxis. So
yeah,
I very rarely drive a car down.
Yeah,
it's much easier on the train.
Yeah,
okay, so we have.
London traffic.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got a few people. So we've got 3.5 minutes, guys, before we kick off and get started. Jimmy and I are just talking to make sure that everything's online and working. Okay. If you've got any questions, everyone, as we go along, you can just put those in the question box or there's a chat box. The chat box is private to me, so you can say what you want. No one will see. We have done public chats before, but we found that they kind of get a bit out of hand. You can speak in the chat box, whatever you wish, whatever suits.
Is the Christmas party all confirmed, Ash?
Yeah, 2nd of December. Are you coming? You can't come, can you?
It's the only date I can't do.
We were going to do the Thursday, but then we all got overruled by the Friday from everyone voting in the group.
Yeah, got it, man. It's up by you guys, isn't it?
Yeah, we're having it in Cambridge this time.
Yeah, well, I like that. Got a nice hotel, had a few drinks.
That's what we're doing. It should be good. I mean, it was hard to get a booking, but it's a good Thai restaurant as well. So
I love Thai.
Yeah. Well, that was the vote again. We put it to a vote, and everyone voted for Thai.
Yeah.
Now happy in Cambridge. So good. Right. So we have what time we got? Okay, we've got 2 minutes, and we're going to get kicking off. So Jimmy, I'll do an intro, and then I'll bring you on. So we'll do an intro, and then you can mute.
Can you see me when I speak?
Yeah, you look gorgeous.
That's all right, as long as my hair looks all right, yeah?
You've got the casting couch behind you.
That's
it's
it.
like a posh service accommodation you got there.
That's it.
The only thing you're missing is the art on the wall, but you got the mirror, so.
I've got artwork here.
Yeah, I know, I see it.
It's actually the alphabet, just in case I get lost.
Just in case, yeah.
Singing all these nursery rhymes at the minute, and the alphabets and the counting to 10. I've got it on point at the minute.
How is your son?
He's all right, but he's screaming his head off at the moment upstairs, so I don't know what's wrong with him. My wife's there, by the way. I'm not just left him upstairs.
From my experience at that age, either they've done something in the nappy or they're hungry.
Yeah, no, we've tried both of them. Yeah, he's actually
it might
he's not drinking a lot, though, you know. It's like he's only 10 weeks old now, and like our friends' babies are on like 6-ounce bottles. He's drinking like 10 ounces. It's a joke.
That's good. That's good, though.
And I think he's going to be a basketball player because he's got some serious length in his legs.
Do you know? I've bought my son some more clothes today, and he's just turned 4 in November.
Yeah.
And I was buying 6-7-year-old clothes for him. He's so tall. Yeah, but he walks around. He's always pulling him up, so you have to get these stretchy things to tie them up. Anyway, right, we digress. So what time we got? Okay, we got like 30 seconds to go. So let's get prepared. Okay. Okay, got a few people on. We're sticklers for timekeeping in case anyone didn't notice. All time is freshers. So here we go, 7:30. Let's kick off. So there is a recording. So some of you who are listening to the recording would have had the joy of the last 14 minutes or so of Jimmy and I having a bit of a one-to-one, talking about a couple of, well, more so one, Bayo, some of the people that we mentor. And Bayo's just got his first deal. He's been going about a month now, I think. So he's kicked off. And that's good. It's a nice property. We're going to get the HMO license sorted and that type of thing. So good. And Jimmy and I are talking about his hotel that we are going to cover a little bit later here, pretty much exclusively from Jimmy himself, who's on the call. And we had it at £15,000 per month profit at 70%, but it's currently 100% occupancy at the moment because once it was on booking.com, which is probably where you get about 85% of all your bookings and service accommodation, has just gone through the roof. And I remember Jimmy saying to me last week, this booking.com is a monster. It's the monster machine, I think the words were. And email after email after email for bookings. And so 100% occupancy, it's running at 20 grand profit. We don't know exactly the numbers as yet, as Jimmy would have said previously on the call, but we'll soon know by the end of the month. So we'll share those if anyone's interested in what those numbers are. So we'll cover more about the hotel. So welcome, Jimmy. How are you going?
Yeah, good, mate. Yourself?
Good. Thank you. So everyone, please write your questions in the chat box or in the question box and fire away, and we'll kick off. So we have the obligatory PowerPoint. I don't like PowerPoints, but so many of you do. So we're gonna put this on. Don't worry, there's not so much PowerPoint, but I need to make sure that you understand the basics of what we're going to talk about here. So we're talking about service accommodation today. Can everyone see my screen? Just give me a yes if you can. That'll be great. Okay, good. Excellent. Okay, making sure everyone can hear me as well. If you can say yes, I can see you, and yes, I can hear you. That would be good. I know it's working because Jimmy's talking. So if you can just put yes to both in the chat. Excellent. Thank you. Cool. Thanks, Tom. So for those who don't know, I'm Ashley Banfield. Been in property since 2006. Came to England from Australia in 2003, and I won't bore you with the whole story. It's a hell of a story, but hey, involves 16p cans of Asda soup and lots of them. And I have a few properties for buy to let. They make a decent income, but it's not enough income for me with a wife and 2 kids. And so I went into August 2013 and said to myself, right, I need to make some serious income. How can I do it? What's the easiest way to do it? What do I know? I knew a bit about shares, and I thought, yeah, it's too unreliable, and especially where the markets are, and new prime ministers and new bloody presidents, and Trump this and Trump that and whatever. So I thought, what's the most stable sort of area that I can go into? And I chose property because it's what I knew. And now over £19,000 per month. I need to update that actually, because we just added another service accommodation, which is over about £1,200 a month in profit, or between £1,000 and £1,200 on averages. And if you understand, if you don't understand the way that we price up service accommodation deals, then it won't mean a lot to you. But we look at 50% occupancy based on the person staying per night, and it needs to break even. So the profit would be 0 or more if possible. And then your averages are working on about 50 to 60% occupancy rate, depending on where you are. London, definitely 60. And a minimum of maybe 2 nights or something like that. And that works out to about 1,000 or 1,200. Probably let's say 1,000. Let's downball it. So worst case scenario, we'll get 0. Averages that we know in the area all day, every day, we'll get us £1,000 a month, and that's only working on 60% or 50% occupancy. And if we work on about 80%, best case scenario, it's still not full. We know that we will be full on these days, pretty much like Jimmy's. From 15 grand to 20 grand a month is a big difference. So ours will be about 3,700. So that needs to add to that, and it will be 20 now. Working with a JV partner there who knows the area and lives much closer. So we've got loads of students now who quit the day job. One of those is Jimmy. He didn't actually have a day job. He used to run pubs and clubs and stuff, but he started with 0 income. And now it's, well, with the 20, we're now looking at about 34, 35 grand profit per month. So not bad. I've got various properties of all sizes. I've done stuff with commercial, done stuff with residential, you name it. I've dabbled in it. And Wealth and Success Academy guy. It's something that myself and my business partner, Emmanuel Ezekiel, set up. Emmanuel is a prolific developer in London and other areas in the UK. He's currently in LA at the moment, having 3 months off, but he's actually doing stuff out there. So not exactly. So Jimmy, if you want to introduce yourself, that might be best. And I love the photo.
Yeah, I think we need a change. That's a bit crazy now. Yeah, hi, my name is London. I have been investing in rent-to-rent properties now for a year, just under a year. 26th of November last year, I went on Ashley's course with 0 income, and yeah, it was one of the best things I've done. I had 0 income because I used to, like Ashley said, I used to own my own pubs, bars, restaurants. Had enough, sold up, and yeah, had a bit of a pot of money to sort of invest, but just didn't know quite what to do or how to invest it really. And got introduced to rent via Ashley, and not looked back since really. I've got 12 rent deals now in under a year. I've got my brother and my father-in-law, about 4 deals each now. I think, no, one's on 5, one's on 4. And my latest project has been a hotel that I've been working on. So, which I think we're going to go into depth a little bit further on. Is that correct?
Cool. Good man.
So yeah, that's me.
Excellent. Good. Thanks, Jimmy. So what we are creating here is a passive income. And most people don't know where to start. So I was lucky because I knew how to get a passive income because I knew property and I knew what I had to do. If you just mute there a second, Jimmy, please. So passive income, I don't know if there's anything really as a residual true sort of passive income, meaning you don't have to do anything for it. Obviously, you have to do something for this. But if you fall ill or fall sick or get hurt or something happens for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, you can still get someone else to run this business. I have a manager who runs mine, so I could have a year off and he still runs the business, as in the rent to rent. So, you know, I know of people out there who have businesses, and if they're off sick for a week or two, their business stops. They have to be there. It's like a recurring business that they have to do, recurring revenue, but they have to be there. With rent to rent, you know, when you first start up, yeah, you got to get the deals in and that type of thing. But it's like anything, you know, you got to get things started. And the hardest thing will be your first ever deal. But I can tell you that if you were listening before, once you get that deal, it's like you get goosebumps. There's something in you that just goes, yes, I've freaking made it. I knew I could do this. And I tell you, once you got one deal, it gives you so much confidence. You're going to get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. My first deal took me 6 months, but I was doing it when no one really knew what a company let was. I didn't know what corporate let was. I didn't know what rent to rent was. They thought that subletting was like this evil devil that just came along whenever I walked in the door. And I got threatened with getting beaten up and you name it. Now it's so much easier because everyone knows what it is. So yes, that's what we're creating here. So what we're trying to do also is create more than you consume. So what I mean by that is if you need £3,000 a month to pay for your lifestyle, and yet you're only earning £2,500, you're going to have one big whacking credit card debt every single month. So what we want to do is, if you've got a lifestyle of £3,000 a month, let's create £5,000, £6,000, £7,000, £8,000 a month. So you've got that extra disposable income to invest in other things, or you can save it for a rainy day, whatever makes you tick. It's so much better knowing that you've got money in the bank in case shit goes wrong, instead of thinking, wow, what about if they stop my credit card? What if I lose my job this week? I can't pay my credit card, so I'm knackered. So yes, definitely create more than you consume. The person who gave me that advice sat down and spoke to me about that for about 3 hours. So I've given you a quick 3-minute on that because this is not what this is about. This webinar, you will be offered some expert training and secret tips for finding deals quickly for £11,188. This is before any discounts or special offers, so stay tuned. Service accommodation, how does it work? Number one, now this is a personal preference for me. I go for 1 to 3 bed properties, but it can still work with much larger properties, and it can work with commercial properties, which is what Jimmy will tell you about in relation to the pub, etc., which has, I don't know if it's got 7 or 8 rooms or whatever it is, but Jimmy will tell you. It works in Article 4 areas, and for those who don't know what an Article 4 area is, basically nothing to do with licensing, it's to do with planning, and it's where the local council has decided to take away permitted development. And permitted development meaning you can't turn a C3 into a C4 or a residential into an HMO without planning applications. I don't tend to deal with HMOs in relation to serviced accommodation, I deal with 1 to 3 bed properties, and you'll find out as we go on why. And it's very important to understand why I do that. Take control of properties. There's no need to own them. Awesome. Reduce risk, and you don't have to come up with that 25% plus all your fees, etc. for the deposits. So sign agreement for 3 to 5 years. Why 3 years? 3 years is because if you're going to use an agent, anything above 3 years, they're going to need a deed signed. And it's a bit of a hassle for them, and it's more money for them to get a solicitor, and it's more money for the agent, etc. We have a management agreement that can be executed as a deed anyway, and then that's when we go to 5 years. We don't go beyond the 5 years because not many people can really look beyond 5 years. Some people, it's quite hard to look beyond 3 years. So it's between 3 and 5, and we negotiate depending on that. Of course, there are break clauses in between, so anyone can get out a little bit earlier if you like. So we use it also to fill voids in our HMOs and or single lets. So we have HMOs that we run, that we own. We also have HMOs that we run via rent to rent. And sometimes there may be a week or 2 weeks that, there's going to be a void in your property, especially over Christmas times and that type of thing, or in December where it's a bit quieter. So there are still people wanting to come in and stay for Christmas. So we'll put it on Airbnb or Booking.com, and it will fill the voids for that time. And you'll get around 40% more profits for those same dates. It can be automated alongside your rent-to-rent business if you have a rent-to-rent business. If you don't have a rent-to-rent business but you own properties, this can all be used in the same way. So my first rent-to-rent was actually on one of my buy-to-lets. I was making £650 profit per month, and now I'm making over £1,400 a month profit on exactly the same property. So we find deals via agents all over the UK. I'd say probably, I don't know, the high 90s, at least 90% at a minimum of our deals come from agents, because they just have deals all over the place. And once you get relationships with agents, then, and Jimmy's, majority of his come from agents, and the same goes for all of our students. Once you have a relationship with 2 or 3 agents, then they will just fill your boots all day, every day, with deals. But you need to have that special relationship with them. You can use a channel manager for automation. I know that Jimmy's using one on his hotel, and I think it's a Vivo that he's using. There are other ones like Kigo. Kigo is quite expensive, but it also has the Kigo, K-I-G-O, for those who are just asking. It also has the integration with Airbnb. Now, Airbnb is good, and it's what you need to get started, because it can take you 2 to 3 weeks to get Booking.com all set up. And on a lot of occasions now, they actually want to come and visit the property. You need to give them the address. They'll send a code to the address by mail, and then you'll get the mail, and then you'll have the code, and you send it back to them, and then register the property. So all this can take between 2 and 3 weeks. So simple steps to setting up. You need to research your area, obviously. You can't just say, right, I live in a lovely quiet village in the back of nowhere in North Wales or wherever it is, and I've decided that I want to do service accommodation. Well, you then go over and take over a property, and you find that nobody ever wants to book your room, and you're paying rent of 500 quid a month, whatever it might be in the area, and because you haven't looked at the supply and demand. So there's various areas that we look at. And again, the sites that I've mentioned, Airbnb, Booking, and then there's holiday lets, there's HomeAway, there's loads of different places. HomeAway is the American one, but we still use that for localities here in the UK as well. And that's where you get a lot of American tourists come. So if you're going to do central London, that's where it will work in those areas especially. Kigo is good for that, because I think they have about 32 or 33 different channels that you go out to when you advertise. And it takes care of all of it for you, so you never double book, because double books can cost you a lot of money. So yeah, it's the property type and potential profits. The longest job that you're going to do in service accommodation is the research. That's the biggest job you're going to have to do. And if you get that right, you're going to make a lot of money. You get it wrong and you miss some bits and you go outside the process, you're not going to make as much money. So number 2, you acquire the property. Either you purchase it or you control it via rent to rent. quite easy, really. Again, we do most of ours via agents, but you can do them direct as well, advertising on some of the portals that are direct to landlords. And then we need to set up the staff. You need a cleaner, you need maintenance, and you need backup as well. It may be that once you get 3 or 4 under your belt, you'll also need somebody who's going to manage all of this for you. And then you can just go out and acquire and do acquisitions for new properties and just keep the income coming up and the pipeline built up. And then from there, we'll either do a refurb or a refresh if needed. If it's your own property, then yes, it may need a refurb if you bought something that's below market value and you've decided to get it revalued once it's done and you drag your money out, so it's no money left in deal. So you can do it like that. And then if it's rent to rent, then we probably just do a refresh. If we have to do a refurb, then we'll speak to and negotiate with the landlord on some skin in the game from them, simply because, roughly, and not talking London, it can be like 10 to 1 or 20 to 1. But normally if we're spending a pound on a property, it will add £3 to the property. So if it's 10 grand we spend, it's going to be 30. We'll never spend 10 grand, put it that way. But it may be that 10 grand is being spent and you get some skin in the game from the landlord. And there's loads of ways you can negotiate that with the landlord. So again, we don't have that much time here tonight. So we'll dress and furnish the property to the standard applied and take professional photos. When I say the standard applied, if you want a luxury property, you're not going to put in a load of old pine wood furniture. And in the same instance, if you're gonna just deal with contractors and that type of thing, you don't need to put in luxury, nice, beautiful, quilt covers and nice European pillows or anything like that for those guys. They just want to turn up and put their head down. And on arrival, you might give them some Stella. With the other guys, you might give them a bottle of Prosecco or something like that. In some cases, depending on how much profit you're making, and if it's a London deal, sometimes we'll put a bottle of champagne in there if it's a special couple. And we do get people who come to our properties and want to do honeymoons, etc. So we're going to make them feel special, and they give good reviews and they want to come back. And then from there, we register the property on booking.com and Airbnb. Sorry. Airbnb is quite simplistic. It will take you maximum half an hour once you've filled everything out. You click the button, it's pretty much instantaneous, if not within a few minutes, and it's up and running. And then booking.com, you need to get onto that straight away because that's where you're going to make your money. That's where you're going to make some serious money. Airbnb, yes, you'll get your bookings, but booking.com is the one where you'll get it. If you're going to use the two, here's a big tip. If you're going to use the two of them together, you need to be careful about getting double bookings if you're not using a channel manager. So the big tip here is booking.com, as the name states, is a booking engine. You cannot go in there and make an inquiry. Basically, you make a booking and it books and you pay. Airbnb, you can actually make an inquiry about the property and we can choose, if we like, to turn off instant booking or leave it on. If you leave on instant booking and then you get a booking from booking.com at the same time, one of them is going to suffer. And trust me, you don't want it to be booking.com because booking will make you find them alternative accommodation, either same spec or higher. And if it has to be a higher spec, then you're going to have to pay out that money. And you obviously lose the income from yours as well because they're going to pay you for that. So that's okay. Well, it's not okay, but if it's 1 or 2 nights, then you can probably take a hit and get by. But if that's a 2 or 3 or a week booking or a month booking, it's going to hurt. So make sure if you're doing the both together, make sure you turn off Airbnb instant booking. So then we can take bookings. Absolutely brilliant. And we like to build a database for future bookings, and you can use what's the one that I use? It's a CRM called Less Annoying CRM, but there's loads of different CRMs you can use. And again, do I recommend Less Annoying? No, I don't recommend it. Do I use it? Yes. Do I use it well? Yes. Does it work for me? Yes. It's completely up to you what you want to use. Once we take bookings, obviously that's when we get the money in. And we never take cash. Please remember that. Never, ever take cash, and never, ever take payment on arrival. You want everything up front before they come. So permissions. So what do we need? Who do we need? We prefer to only have in either professionals or corporate workers and or holiday lets. So we'll let out to families, etc., for holiday lets. And this is part of the pitch that we put to landlords and what we put to agents as well. So that makes them feel a lot better that you're not just going to have young kids coming there partying and that type of thing. So planning, C1, classification 1, planning, application, or just permission. Well, if you're running a property as a C3 with permission from the council to run it as a C1, then you don't need planning, but you need it in writing. And the only way that you can use a property that's C3 without C1 planning is to rent it out in its entirety. Now, as you can see, that's why I like to use only 1 to 3 bed properties, and 1 or 2 or 3 bed properties. 4 beds a bit of a it sits in a desert somewhere and doesn't really do a lot. Not many people want to rent out an entire 4-bed property, and if they want to rent it out by the room, it's probably not going to work that well. So you need at least 5, and then you're starting to get into HMO territory if you're looking at 3 different levels. So we prefer 1, 2, 3 bed properties. Keep them as a C3, but get permission as a C1. Also, leaseholders, you're going to need permission. Freeholds are best. So if you're in London and you find a property that's like a big high-rise, get to know the developer, the person who owns it, who owns the freehold. That will be much easier. You won't always get permissions for leaseholds, so always look out for that and make sure that you get everything covered with the leasehold and know what's in there. They sometimes won't have that you can't sublet, but what they may have is that, and there are ways around this. I shouldn't actually say this, but there are ways around this. I shouldn't say this in open air to the public, and I probably won't. But if you have a leasehold, I need to make sure. If you have a leasehold that doesn't say anything about subletting, but it says that whoever stays in that property must be on an AST, then technically, if we go in on an AST and have permission from the landlord to sublet, i.e. everything's been ripped out from the AST that says that you can't sublet, then technically you're not, and he's not in breach of the actual lease agreement, because our name is not actually on the leasehold. But I won't say any more about that. If I see you on Saturday, I can tell you more in detail. But you're not breaking any laws. You're not going to go to jail. Don't worry about that. In some areas like Brighton or down on the coast, you will need to inform the tourist board as well. Some of the high rises in London, you also need to inform the police of what you're doing, just so they know how many people are living in the area, etc., etc. So there is a simple explanation of planning and all the crap that everyone goes. I see so much rubbish on all of the forums. I don't comment on them. I just watch them and I have a chuckle every now and then. Sometimes I grit my teeth and think, wow, what's going on? So I'll give you a very simple explanation of planning for service accommodation. Happy to see that? Good. So you take a screenshot, take a photo with your phone or whatever you want to do, or watch the replay. But this is planning made simple. I'll read it to you. C1 planning, C1, for you, so you know, is basically the same as a bed and breakfast or something like that, or hotel. So C1 planning is needed regardless of dwelling type if the property is rented by individual rooms, just like a hotel or a B&B per night, or C3, which is a normal residential house, which is probably where the majority of you are sitting right now, if rented as an entire home or apartment, whatever it might be, per night, much like a buy-to-let property. So in theory, it's staying as accommodation for one family or one group of related people or something like that. They are not renting them out by the rooms. So again, C1 planning is needed regardless of dwelling type if the property is rented out by individual rooms, which we don't do. Jimmy's doing it, but he's got a commercial property with his hotel, and it is a hotel. Or C3 if rented out as an entire home apartment per night. So what we're going to talk here about tonight is pubs, and if they have like a B&B or something, it's going to be C1 already. So cash flow from property without owning it. The strategy of a cash flow for property without owning it is called rent to rent. In service accommodation, you will get rent to rent deals because you'll take on properties that you don't need to own. We rent a property and rent it again to others or to guests, making a profit on the difference. We can do this with larger properties if you want to rent it out by the room, but beware, you're going to need C1 classification, planning change, or with smaller properties, varying the strategy you suit. Simple. So we know what to say to agents, and more importantly, what not to say. We know what paperwork we need to use. And in many cases, there are 4 different options that we can use for paperwork. If we're doing rent to rent, there's a management agreement, there's AST, there's corporate let or company let as they call it, and there's also a commercial lease. Now, some people will say you can never use an AST. You can't use an AST as it is, that's right. But there's nothing to stop you with making changes or putting in addendums. We know how to negotiate with these guys. How do we know how to negotiate? Because we've got so much bloody experience and we know what to say and we know what they're going to say and we know what they're thinking because we've done this so many times. We know the planning criteria, and so do you pretty much now. 90% of it you now know. We include our manual for you to help you find deals. So if you're going to do rent to rent, I wrote a manual about a year ago for rent to rent, and it's also included in what we offer you. So it will help you in finding rent to rent deals. And if you couple that with service accommodation and the research that we teach you, then no problem. You can go ahead with this straight after you've done a course with us. So this is one of Nappa's deals in London. Quite nice, canning apartment. He's now averaging, I think, about £800 a month profit. It was, I believe, his first one, and I think he's now got 3 deals, three of these. But he's got about 9-10 deals in total, of which he started out with rent to rent. Now he switched to service accommodation. So service accommodation, you can make so much more profit. There is a bit more risk with it because if you don't do your research property, no one's going to come to you bloody and book your bloody property. So you need to make sure that your groundwork, your foundations are all in place. It's simple enough once you see it and we teach you. This is one of Jimmy's properties, so you can rent it out as the entire property. And again, nice, color-coded, looks great, nice and modern, fresh. Then there's business standards. So business standards, it's more like our logo, like Wealth and Success Academy. It's, you know, they like the blacks, they like the golds, they like the whites, the silvers, and this type of thing. You're also going to have to put in printers. Wi-Fi printers are best. In one of ours, we've also got iPads as well that we've put in. Obviously, there's a nice big deposit up front for that, so that they can use all of this. And there's another property that my friend's got where the iPad actually controls the curtains, the lights, and everything like that. Pretty much like Modcalm Hotel. If you've ever stayed in those in London, they've all got iPads in their rooms to control all of those things. So again, it's what they expect. So if you're going to have like a 1-bed property or a studio, the business people and corporate people is the people that you're going to have to target, especially if it's central London. Depending on the area, it could be like Cambridge Science Park or anywhere like that. So, Jimmy, let's unmute. Jimmy
Hello.
London is on. So, Jimmy, I believe you've still got 12 deals with rent to rent.
Yeah, still on my 12 at the moment. Like I said on the last webinar, I'm helping my brother out at the minute, my father-in-law, obtain some deals. Obviously helping some of your guys out as well.
Yep.
And I'm probably not going to get any more deals on the rent-to-rent unless something unbelievable comes in. Yep. Purely for the fact that it's really opened my eyes to what I've been doing with this hotel. and the profits that can be obtained just from one premises. Yes, it needed some finance investment at the start, but like I say, I'm going to have. I've invested around about 50k, and I know I'm going to get that back, you know, at the beginning of next year. So that to me is where I'm at the moment, and moving forward as of next year. By the end of next year, I said to my wife today, because she was helping me with my paperwork, I want another hotel, and I will get it.
I know you will. You're like a bull in a china shop when you get something in your head.
So I'm on the lookout. So yeah, I'm with Bayo, which was one of Ashley's guys. He set a meeting up for me from a friend of his that owns a big pub, and I think it's got 12 or 15 rooms above it. It's right by a train station. And yeah, it could really be a great profit spinner. And yeah, I don't know what the investment's needed to it, obviously, until I see the rooms. If it's plumbing, you know, electric, that I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know the standard of the rooms. You know, there might even be, you know, walls that need to go up and be created more rooms. I'm a master at that.
I'm just going to put some photos up of your property, your hotel. Some of the
Sorry, I didn't get to send you any. Do you know what? I should have really took pictures of all the rooms before. So this room, basically, I've created an extra 4 rooms to the initial rooms there, because it was a big manager's flat, and it was too big. It was like a 4-bedroom manager's flat, a huge kitchen. So this room was just a dump yard, really. And just off this, there's an ensuite, a nice ensuite bath shower there as well, which I think I sent you the pictures. You might even see it. So yeah. So this room here, all the double rooms, I average at £85 at the normal going rate, and there's obviously go up for like New Year's Eve, or fully booked at like 120 a night. Valentine's, it goes up. Obviously, certain things that, you know, marathon week, because we're very close to Blackheath here. So all these little key points, again, my channel manager, Vivo, they set out to say, right, okay, what's your key? Have you done your research on the area about what's, you know, the key points to book and where you can get the maximum profit out of them? So yeah.
So I think it's important just to mention what you stated there. You spoke about New Year's Eve, you spoke about Valentine's Day, and you spoke about Marathon Week. It's very important as part of your research to understand if there are any events that happen frequently in your area, because these can seriously boost your income. You think about Wimbledon, having a property in or around Wimbledon within a 10-minute walk to the Wimbledon grass courts, or whatever they call it, Wimbledon Tennis Club. It's not just those few days that however long Wimbledon lasts, I don't know, 5 days or whatever it is. It's 2 weeks before, and it's a week afterwards, because there's media there covering it before. People go in there, they're training. Some of the tennis players come in before. So you're going to get anywhere between 3 and 4 week bookings in that time. And the bookings, the actual cost per night, can actually go up to anywhere between 3 and 4 times the regular amount. So,
I think another thing, Ash, as well, it's not just, like you say, yeah, Wimbledon's great, but it's also, you know, airports, events, you know, like the NEC up at Birmingham, for example. You know, that massive site there is bringing thousands and thousands of people every single day, whether you're building, part of the building team, part of the D-Rig team, part of the actual show itself.
Well, Ben Watson has got 3 deals up there now, and he's just put on the group today. I think he's got another 7 in the pipeline coming up with 2 other landlords.
Brilliant. You know, was that the events guy that I met?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's tapped right into it, because he understands the amount of people that, you know, that need accommodation around those events.
And he's doing that with Mobsy as well. So they're both cleaning up there now. So Jimmy, how many rooms has your hotel got in total?
So we've got 10 rooms.
10. Okay, 10. Cool. So 10 at 100% occupancy, we're looking at about 20 grand, and you're looking at 70% occupancy, about 15 grand profit per month.
That's correct, yeah.
Sweet. Okay, and you're using Avivo, aren't you, as your channel manager?
Yeah, Vivo is a channel manager I'm using. I'm still learning with it, if I'm honest with you. Booking.com, I'm still learning, you know, because there's so much that they offer on the actual sites. It's not, you know, it's not just like, oh, you upload there's so many different, and it's maintaining it. You know, if there's a new image that you can use, the pub's being refurbed on the 9th of January starts, and there'll be loads of new images I'm going to get out there, and you know, just adjusting it all the time, making it stand out.
Yeah, for sure. So what made you choose Avivo over something like Kigo?
It was purely for the fact that when I was doing my online training with Kigo, it seemed a lot more difficult of a system to use over Avivo, and because I'm going to have girls in the hotel using it, and then I'm going to have my assistant that's going to be, you know, it needs to be a little bit user friendly, and it come across a little bit easier, so that was the main reason.
And what was I going to say with the I can't remember what I was going to ask. It was something wrong around Avivo actually, but no, carry on. So I'll come back to it. So let's move on to the next picture. So here's one here where you put in a little like kitchenette.
Yeah. So this area here, this is quite a big area. This was actually a massive kitchen that the old landlord was in, and I mean it must be about. It doesn't show the exact size there, but it must be about 5 meters by about 3.5, 4 meters wide. So it's a real big room. And you can see in the right hand image that door there goes out to a little flat roof. So I've created a little terrace out there. It's got a nice kitchen in it. It's only just a basic one from Howden's, cost me a couple of grand.
Yeah.
The other side of that cooker, which is a nice little ensuite the other side there. So where the radiator is on the left hand image,
yeah,
I've created it's got an ensuite in there, so it's got a shower toilet, nice little basin, nice heated towel rail. And this room, funny enough, I had a walk-in come into the premises yesterday, and it was a couple that's getting their house refurbed, and they've got a dog. So because it's got a terrace outside, this room I would allow pets, and I love dogs anyway.
Okay.
So yeah, this room has got a terrace out here, and I've got 120 a night, and they've booked it for 3 months while the house is being done.
Oh, awesome!
So it's like a serious, and they just walked in off the street. You know, when you just think, wow,
yeah,
I've done bookings, that would be one.
So on 90 days, that's getting up to about £10,800 a month. A booking for that booking
from this couple just cut, and they were so happy with the room because they said, oh, we was trying to look at like a Premier Inn. It's only because they drove past and it just see like, you know, great ensuite rooms outside. So they like traveled on.
So you put some signs up out the front as well.
Yeah. We've got some signs like that because it's a great main road going into you know, into town. So loads and loads of traffic, and you've got traffic lights down the bottom. So you know, come 4 o'clock, it's just building up. There's constant traffic outside. So that booking for me really put a smile on my face yesterday because I had a bad day yesterday.
Yeah, I bet. So with this, the property looks absolutely fantastic. Is this all your own work, your wife, or interior designer?
No, I've got an interior designer that I use for my own house and projects that I've done, all flips that I've done. She's really good, you know, like when she said, oh, we're going to have blue walls and this and that, and you know, you think blue walls, but it really, really does work. I'll send you, once all the pub's done up downstairs, yes, I'll send you over the images, and she's really, you know, they've just got an eye for it, you know, the artwork from the pillows to, you know, just everything, you know, and she's really worth her weight in gold.
So some people think that, wow, okay, you're turning a pub and you're taking on a pub and you're turning it into a hotel. Shit, that means I've got to pour drinks, I've got to pour beer, I've got to be up till 1 o'clock in the morning, I've got to clean out the bloody beer lines, I've got to order drinks, I've got to order food, I've got to serve food. What do you have to do with the pub downstairs?
Nothing whatsoever. Yeah, so my background was pubs, and I used to have a guy that worked for me who was young at the time. He was only 22, 23. Always wanted his own pub, and he was brought up in this area where this hotel is. And he said, look, I want this pub. So I've done a bit of digging. He tired landlord who's been there 20 odd years, and with him being there, you know, at the end of the day, things change, and when you're a landlord of 20 years, you're not up with the social media, you're not up with everything that's here and now. You know, they're stuck in that pub quiz sort of era, and sometimes, unfortunately, those pubs are the ones that's going under. So we struck the deal with the brewery. We've got a nice 25-year lease on the property, and he's dealing with the pub. He's always wanted a pub, and it reminded me of me when I was his age. You know, I mean, I bought my first pub when I was 24, so he Joe's 27 now, and he's absolutely buzzing, loving it, really, and we really turned the pub around just from being a friendly landlord rather than the other guy was a big grumpy. So I had nothing to do with it apart from Friday. I have a couple of drinks in there and eat some food.
So you don't actually rely on the pub for your business?
No, not at all.
Good, because I know that's since we did the last one, that's some of the questions that I've been asked, and trying to explain to them that no, you don't need to run the pub. It's the rooms upstairs or next to it or out the back that you're taking.
I mean, even if, say, for instance, you know, a lot of pubs, some landlords don't realise the space that they've got above their pubs. You know, you might not get 10 rooms, you might only get 4 rooms, or you might get 3 rooms. But if it's in the right location, a town or near a station, you know, it's good to approach a landlord to say, you know, what you do in the space upstairs. Most of them are probably, you know, old function rooms full of rubbish, really. It's just storage. So putting an offer forward to a landlord could think, well, actually, yeah, if I can get £2,000 rent off you to rent upstairs, that's another £2,000 in his back pocket.
Yeah, and another way that we do that as well, we do what we call a 50-50, or sometimes it can be a 60-40. So what we do is we'll approach people like this, like landlords or people who own developments. We'll say to them, look, you know, we can actually give you a better return than paying you rent. So if the rent's a couple of grand a month, we can say to them, look, you know, we know that we're not going to tell them that we can make 15 grand a month out of this, but we can say, look, if we give you a profit share, we can actually pay you, you know, instead of £2,000 a month, maybe £2,500, £3,000 a month. But that way, you're not actually guaranteeing any rent. You're just relying on the actual profits. So they understand that if you don't make any money, then they don't get paid. But if you make a lot more money, then they, you know, can go up pro rata if you like.
Yeah, swings around that.
Yeah. So this way, you're never actually locked into paying rent. So that's quite a good way for doing it like this with these commercial properties as well. And it's actually going to be a lot easier because you're approaching a landlord who not necessarily owns the property. It might be a brewery like Enterprise Inns. So you're walking up to these guys, knocking on the door, have a beer with them, or whatever you do, and say, look, you know, do you have people stay here? No. Have you got any space upstairs? Yes, I've got 8 rooms, 7 rooms, 10 rooms, whatever it might be, and I've also got stables at the back that are all converted, but no one goes in there because I don't know how to do it. You can say, look, you know, why don't we have a chat about it? I think I can make you a lot of money here, additional income. And it may mean the difference between him being, you know, a landlord who's making money to one who's only making a little bit. So there's plenty of ways that you can approach people in pubs, and you can get long leases. So what are we talking? 25 years, I think you said.
Yeah, well, about 23 years now.
What's the rough cost average around your area to rent a pub?
To be honest, they're all different purely for the fact that, you know, if you're taking a pub on that's obviously got a great trade, they're going to want a high premium for it. Some pubs, I mean, I noticed one in Tunbridge Wells last week that there's a nil premium to go into it.
Explain that.
It's a great pub. I don't think you're going to get the space to get more than probably 5 to possibly 6 rooms up top there. But the grounds it's in, it's a lovely, I mean, it looks haunted. It does, I'm sure there's a few stories there because the whole building's like a little bit all over the place, but it's got so much character. But, you know, there's that side of it that, you know, you can get a pub for nil premium. You know, the brewery earn their money out there, beer and that.
Explain nil premium for us. So
nil premium, where you can sign an agreement with them to take the premises on, sign it for, say, I don't know, a 5-year rolling lease. But in order, you know, you've got to obviously buy all your beer, so they tie you in for all your beers because they know that premises, if they can get it out on a nil premium where someone will take it on, they know that they're going to sell their beer, so at least they're earning something out of it. They will still put the rent in place, of course. They're not going to give it for nothing, but yeah, that's an agreement. So this bathroom that Ash has just popped up here, this was an original bathroom suite, which I kept the tiles.
I can see it. Yeah, I can see you kept the tiles.
You know, purely for the fact that, you know, the interior design says, you know, bringing in a bit of blue to it. It's the original toilet. We put a new bath in there, new bath panel up, a new shower fitting, a little bit of tiling done, and a shower screen. And it looks great. It looks really good. And then just behind there, there's a nice, lovely basin with a real big, chunky mirror, and it just ties it all in. It's like the tiles were actually part of what we've done, but it wasn't.
Yeah. And the important thing here is there will be some people on here who are happy to do rent to rent. There'll be some people who want to obviously, you know, own a property and rent it out themselves. You can buy pubs at the moment as well. So if you're buying the only pub in the village, so to speak, you'll have a lot of pushback from the local residents and the councils on whether you can convert it to residential. So if you can partner with somebody to run the pub and you can do the accommodation, and you split the profits in some way, shape or form, it's all down to you what your heads of terms would be, then you could take on a property and make income from the pub more than what you would if you were actually a landlord, so to speak. So it's all about thinking outside the box and looking at commercial properties that are already C1 or whatever they might be, like a pub with accommodation at the rear. You know, since you've done this, Jimmy, I've looked at loads of pubs in my area and I'm thinking, wow, they've got all this. And there's one that's got that's actually for sale, and it's got the equivalent of 15 rooms out the back. And the guy's selling because he's just he's got ill health. And we looked at this. It's still for sale now. We looked at this a year and a half ago to convert to residential, and the council pushed it back. And we're now back talking to these guys about doing this. And
don't get my percentage on this, yeah?
Yeah, of course, mate. Nil premium, I think you said. And they've said, yeah, we'd be happy to entertain that, no problem at all. That's only a verbal, obviously, but it was much better than the verbal that we had before in absolutely no way.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you know, these pubs have got so much character. Like, look at that massive window in the toilet there. Yeah, it needed a new sash window, but all the rooms as well, they're huge, massive windows, and you know, they just look great with a bit of investment into the property. You know, councils don't want to see them on there. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's crack on. Okay, any questions for Jimmy, please? You can see here on screen, you can make £10,000 a month. I mean, Jimmy's making this look like, you know, child's play. There is a lot of work in this. We're not trying to say that there's no work in this. This is not one of those get rich, I want to be a freaking millionaire overnight style of things. But as you can see, Jimmy's now from rent to rent alone has created getting up to 35 grand a month when this is full. So let's work out the averages. Let's say he's on 30 grand a month from rent to rent, service accommodation, hybrid. So if there's anyone out there thinking that, oh, I just need an extra couple of grand is piece of piss. That's all I can say. Absolutely piece of cake. As long as you're on it, you're doing it, and you're constantly pushing, and you have to immerse yourself in this. I know that there are people who are working. I've got students who are working. I've students who are working for 7 months, like Anna, we spoke about at the start. 10 deals. She's quit a job. She was working in a bank. She's much better off now. So because you're working in a day job, that's no excuse. It's up to you. So yeah, fire away the questions, guys. So is your goal possible? Grand a month? 100%. 5 grand? Yes. 10 grand? Piece of cake. It all depends on you as a person. I've taught the same thing to Jimmy. I've taught the same thing to 300 odd other people. Not everyone's doing what Jimmy does. Some people are close. Lukash is close as well. There's probably, I don't know, 30 people up on 7-8 grand a month. There's more on the lower scale. But all we haven't taught them anything different. They've all been taught the same thing. So it's down to you. So if you're motivated and you take action, and you're quite happy to take the odd kick up the arse to keep you going, then yes, you can make some money. But it is down to you. There's loads of advantages to this. Increased cash flow to whatever goal you have. Jimmy just said before that, he's told his wife that I will have a hotel next year, this time next year. Mark my words, he'll probably be on here talking about his hotel that might be pulling in 30 grand profit itself. It allows you to build up cash to invest in property full time. Obviously, Jimmy's going to be investing his in a hotel. Gain massive experience in a property, minus the risk. You don't have to own it. Learn how to talk to agents, and especially what not to say. It's a fast track to leave your day job. I don't know that many people who actually love their day job because they've fallen into the crap, by accident. It's kind of like they leave school, they leave university, and they do a degree on theology or whatever it might be, or science, or a bachelor of this, a bachelor of that, and a PhD in this, and a PhD in that. And then they suddenly find out that shit, experience actually counts for a lot these days. And you're going to have to start at the bottom of the rung, big boy, or big girl, whatever it might be. So reality kicks in. Freedom and stability in your life. I don't have to tell you what that is. You know what that is and what that means to you. Is freedom getting up off your ass, getting on a train every day, going to work for someone else to make their money, to come home and get a big, massive kick in the ass from the missus or the husband saying, we've got a bill here for tires on the car and we can't afford them. It makes it simple to grow your income very quickly, increase your income on your buy-to-lets. As I said, the first one I did, I took from $650 a month to £1,400+ pounds per month. And that's rent-to-rent HMO. That's not even service accommodation. So how serious do you want to get? It's up to you. We spent an hour to get an hour, almost, best part of. But obviously, we've got a lot of content here. An hour's not enough. We run a course each month, and the next one is on Saturday, and it is the last one of the year. It is the last course, and I run 3 a month. It is the last course that I will be running until January. On service accommodation, I think it's January 20-something. So we're having December off. We like to take a break. What will you get from me? Like I said before, I'll give you the manual as well for the rent-to-rent. And it is basically an A to Z Bible of how to set up a rent-to-rent business. You get the masterclass day with me for the service accommodation and loads of exercises that we do. Essential documents you need for service accommodation. All the legal contracts you need. And, we've got a solicitor who does rent-to-rent now, and he will actually be at the course on Saturday, a guy called Nino. Awesome guy. He knows exactly what is needed and any little loopholes or anything like that when it comes to service accommodation. He's there. You can drill in for questions. JV partners. I know there's some guys on here who are working with each other, JVing, and they've all met on the course or in our groups. Energetic training. So we promise you won't nod off. I might give the odd loud scream every now and then to make sure you don't nod off. No, I'm kidding. There's too much to learn, and you'll be on the edge of your seat. So no one ever falls asleep in our classes. And we've got one guy coming straight off a night shift coming on Saturday, so we're going to have to keep him awake. Full follow-up with support from me personally, and the Facebook group includes both rent-to-rent expertise and service accommodation. So what's the value? $597 for the manual, easy. We've sold that. The course, £1,000. Order forms and contracts, $1,500. Support, £1,000 a year. It's got to be more than that. Calculator, all the scripts, $5.5 grand. Easy. That's what you should be paying. Now, before I go on and tell you what the special deal is, because remember at the start of the webinar, I said it's going to be $11,188 before any discounts. So I also mentioned about you making a difference. So the strategy is what we teach you. The strategy is probably 20%, 25% of what you will need to be successful with service accommodation. The other 80% is the execution. Execution is you getting off your ass and taking action, or as I like to call it, Goya. If you do not Goya your strategy that you sat down with me and spent 10 hours in a room with me for, and an hour here on a webinar, is a waste of time. And if you're that type of person who likes to get all the strategy, the 20%, the 20%, the 20%, 20%, and you're a course junkie and you never execute anything, you are never, ever going to create success from this strategy. If that's you, you need to hang up now, go and grab a cup of tea and catch the end of Coronation Street or whatever happens on a Tuesday night, Wednesday night. What is tonight? Tuesday. Whatever happens on a Tuesday night. I promise you, you will not be successful if you do not get off your ass. Please hang up now, because I'm wasting your time and you're wasting your time. If you think that you can get off your ass and take action because you know that you have a reason that you need to make some money, then you're going to be successful. And please continue to listen. So special offer today for those left on. I'm happy to say that no one's actually jumped off. So I hope no one's in denial. You can have the manual for £497 plus VAT. That's £100 off. You can also get everything else included. The full one-day course, the support, the contracts, the service accommodation extensive calculator. We've just actually made it much more simplistic as well. And it's all on a Dropbox with all of the other documents, all the scripts, how to set up Airbnb, how to set up booking.com, how to do chargebacks, all of this sort of stuff. How to do your research, where to find the research, how to buy a property for service accommodation, how to fit it out for service accommodation. So your total price is $497 plus VAT. We'll also give you 100% money back satisfaction guarantee. If you turn up on Saturday and you decide that by the morning break, which will probably be around about 10:30, 11, and you think this sucks, this is no good, I kidded myself into doing the execution and taking action, I'm not going to do it. I don't care what your reason is. If you want to leave at 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning, I'll give you all your money back. I don't know the experience on this because we haven't had someone take it yet. So if you purchase today, you can bring a friend for free, or you can split the cost with them. So it will be £248 or whatever it is each, plus VAT. No charge for your business partner, no charge for your spouse or your friend. You can bring whoever you want. You just need to send me the name when you book. We'll also now, so your first deal, you will get your money back within your return on investment with your first deal. Now, some of the service accommodations that we do, even with the money that you have to put in or you have a JV to put in, you can get return on investment, your return on your capital back within 2 to 3 months. So you start making profit after month 3 for the next 36 months, or the next 33 months, or the next 45 months if it's over 5 years. See how now we have that passive residual income? So special offer today. Now let's load it up, because all you've got to do is, on your screen it will come up. It will open in a new tab. You'll see up the top it says 2-for-1 offer. Stop wishing, start doing. If you're still wishing, hang up. If you're ready to do, as in take execution, then click the orange button underneath that says book your spot. And you can see that the 2-for-1, your value of 11,188 for just $497 plus VAT. How to invest? You got the booking on you. You got the booking on your screen now. The booking spot, book your spot. It says book now on your screen. To book onto the next course, the link will take you straight through to Saturday's course. If for some reason you cannot make Saturday's course, or you think I want to procrastinate and wait until the end of January, let me know. You can still book on to the end of January. But time waits for no man. There's the link on the screen. If you're watching the recording, the book your spot will still be up on the screen, so use that. Take a screenshot of the link if you want to sit down and type it in and procrastinate. And we look forward to helping you build your cash flow with you. And if you want to think, you know, who's done this? Well, you've just heard from me. I'm done it and I'm doing it. I'm not one of these people who just teaches. I'm actually doing it. And Jimmy here is doing it as well. And Jimmy is also now starting with mentoring. He's been doing some training, if you like, helping out. And we've had some bloody very good reviews come back about Jimmy. So Jimmy's earned his stripes. And I think you all agree that we can all learn something from Jimmy. I bought something from Jimmy. So let me know if there's any questions that you have. Total price, create more cash flow now, $497 plus VAT. It will take you to a link and you can use PayPal or you can use your credit card. James has said, Ash, I bought a ticket on Monday. Can I bring my fiance? Absolutely no problem. Just send me your fiance's name. And because we buy you lunch on the day, and I just need to make sure that everything's catered for. And obviously we'll have a seat for her or him. Hey, I cannot be presumptuous. If you want to join us on Facebook as well, facebook.com/Wealth and Success Academy. Loads of free tips. I think we've got about 2,500 followers at the moment, and it's constantly growing. Thank you, James. We'll put her name down. Any other questions on what we've spoken about tonight, or any questions on the actual course on Saturday? So we have a question here. Yes, it starts at 9 a.m. It's at Peterborough Marriott Hotel, just off the A1. You can get a train if you like into Peterborough, and it's about a 10-minute cab ride from there. And it will finish around about 6 p.m. And we have a morning break and we have lunch. Lunch is probably about 45 minutes. And then in the afternoon, we'll have a break as well. Coffee is all provided. We're not tight asses here. We look after you. We want to make sure you're comfortable. Yes, thanks, James. See you Saturday. Looking forward to it. Any other questions, troops? Let me know if there's any questions. Thank you for those who have ordered. Thank you. See you Saturday. Looking forward to it. I'm not sure if Nino's on here, but Nino will be there Saturday. I think with his business partner as well. And they're both commercial property solicitors. So it will be interesting to hear some of their views, especially on the 90-day rule in London and any of the lease agreement requirements that we come up against and we get around. Okay, good. Thank you. I won't read out all the thank yous and superbs and all that sort of stuff because I think it will just bore you all. But thank you all for your nice. Craig, welcome. Caught up with the day job. I hope so. Let's get you away from the day job. Okay, how do you start? How much to start? And do you keep us accountable after training? You bet, buddy. So to start, it's $497 plus VAT. You can bring your partner, bring your friend, bring a business partner, or share the cost. And Jimmy, are you there?
Yeah, still here, mate.
Somebody's asked if I keep you accountable after the training.
Yeah, every day is on my back. Yeah, no. Once the training's, that's not it. Close the door and off you go. The big thing with Ash and on all these courses and all these mentors out there. I've had friends that had different mentors on different style of businesses, and you know, yeah, they're there for the start when they take your money. Now, Ash has become a very good friend. You know, I speak to Ash 2-3 times a week, and he's really, you know, it's unbelievable what I've created myself in under a year. The 26th of November I went on Ashley's course. Today's the 22nd. Under a year, what I've created, not only, you know, such a great friend, and his knowledge is, you know, unbelievable, and what I learn off him. And you know, if it's a question on rent to rent, if it's a question on a property deal, Ashley's there, and I know he's going to be there forever and ever, and you know, vice versa. So yeah, it's not just you go on the course, you know, take your money and shut the door and off you go. It really is a really close network, the Wealth and Success Academy, and you know, for what they do, and it's great seeing everyone around you. The guys that was on your course, the people that's going to be going on the course this Saturday, to, you know, talking to them in 6 months' time, and it's great seeing everyone succeed, because you're all sort of blowing in the same direction, and it's, you know, it's just great to see. So yeah, it's not just a fact of you know, close the door and off you go. It's constant. It's constant. Yeah.
Thanks, Jimmy. Thanks for those kind words.
I'm going to shoot, because I'm going to go and have some dinner now, guys. But I wish you all the best. Have a great course on Saturday, those that's going. Ash, I'll speak to you tomorrow.
Take care. Thanks, Jimmy. Thanks very much. Thanks for your time.
Cheers, bye.
Okay, cool. Great reply. Thanks. No problem, Craig. I hope that answers your question. I don't like to answer those questions, because I think it's better coming from someone else who's experienced this. So any more questions, troops? Otherwise, I'm going to cast off in 2 minutes' time, and also go and have some dinner with my wife, I think, unless she's taken off somewhere. The replay, you will get an automatic email if you want to watch the replay. It will probably come into your inbox 8, 9, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, something like that. And then you can watch the replay. It will be limited, I think, to, like I said, 36 hours, and it all goes via YouTube. So it's quite easy just to stop and start if you need to in between times. Plug your headphone on, listen to it on the tube if that's what you do. You can get Wi-Fi on the stations, can't you? But you can download the video anyway. And hopefully that's helped. So thank you all who attended tonight, and very much appreciated. I hope you've learned something. We're fairly direct. We don't sort of like to blow sunshine up anyone's ass and kind of say it's like this and it's not like this. I think you've heard a fairly sort of detailed account of how things work. And if there's any other questions, for those who have booked, I'll see you on Saturday. Really looking forward to it. It's our final course for the year. And yeah, exciting stuff. So that's it. We're done. Have a good evening. Take care. And for those who are coming Saturday, see you then. Thanks very much.